All right, good evening. Welcome back to Before Brady's here in Stark. Hey, we got all of the set now. Marty Pallman is Corey Davis. Last show, Marty Pallman was on
And we're
both.
correct. Yay.
Hey, we got it now. We're back to our two screens tonight. Yes, got the computer working again, so not having to share the screen this week. But we do welcome you to the North Florida College Football Gridiron Report. I am Marty Pallman. He is Corey Davis. Well, got a little bit to talk about in college football, just a little bit.
So,
A lot of it having to do with, well, some of it having to do with games, but a lot of it having to do with coaching. And, well, I mean, we'll just go ahead and start with at the top with Florida firing Billy Napier yesterday. At 2 o'clock yesterday, that was the announcement was made. We'd heard about it on Saturday and Friday. This could happen on Sunday. And win or lose, the Gators won, of course, and then they fired him still. But the win itself was how can I put it?
ugly.
It was
Ugly.
ugly. Typical.
It,
Because a bad play call, and it nearly cost the Gators. And
Mississippi State bailed them out
they did.
because if not for the INT, they likely either tie the game or win the game.
Right. So, and we'll talk more about that in a moment. Actually, we do have a lot to talk about with that. Especially, actually, you have the here the rare times that coaches get fired after a win. I was kind of wondering about that, but we'll start with bowl bound. 14 more teams become bowl eligible. So 24 to 68 slots have been filled. Alabama now is bowl eligible, not surprisingly. Cincinnati, Georgia, Hawaii, Houston, James Madison, Missouri, North Texas, Oklahoma, Oregon, South Florida, Tulane, Vanderbilt. How about that? And Virginia all secured berths this weekend with wins. And Virginia, they did end up coming back and winning that game against Washington State. Okay,
Yeah.
they were down late in that game. They joined BYU, Georgia Tech, Indiana Navy, Ohio State, Ole Miss, Texas A&M, Texas Tech, UNLV, and Memphis, who clinched 2 weeks ago. Memphis took their first loss of the season of UAB. But speaking of which, UAB just fired their coach last week, Trent Dilfer. Then they come back and beat undefeated Memphis. So, good week for the Blazers of UAB. As you see, we had 11 undefeated teams, now just 6 remaining. BYU, Georgia Tech, Indiana, Navy, Ohio State, Texas A&M. That's an interesting group of teams that are still unbeaten. We lost Miami, Memphis, Ole Miss, Texas Tech, and UNLV. Good call in Louisville in that game last Friday night. Carson Beck throwing 4 interceptions. Memphis was beaten by UAB, Ole Miss by Georgia. Texas Tech lost a thriller to Arizona State late, and UNLV got blown out by Boise State.
Yep.
As Dan Mullen's undefeated run comes to an end up on the blue turf in Boise.
And chances are, of the 6 left, somebody's going to get upset this week, too.
Georgia Tech has Syracuse.
I'm thinking SEC team is going to probably go down this week.
Texas A&M. Were they
Yeah.
playing
LSU.
LSU?
At LSU.
LSU can bounce back. Yeah, right. BYU, big win for them over Utah in their rivalry game, too.
Marty, I've been keep tracking this every single week. We almost made it an entire week without a firing.
Almost. Every week. Isn't it weird?
Yeah.
I see this many firings in one year.
It's been crazy.
Yeah, well, 2 o'clock Sunday, Florida fired Billy Napier. And, of course, we talked about Florida making that change. Colorado State letting Jay Norvell go. I know I saw Norvell, and I'm thinking, oh, Mike Norvell got fired too? No, it's Jay Norvell at Colorado State. Of course, Napier let go after the win over Mississippi State. Was 22-23 in 4 seasons. Norvell, his team, Colorado State, lost to Hawaii, going to 2-5. They finished 18-26 during his 4 years. That Colorado State program always seems like one where they think that they're going to be really good, and yet they kind of go up and down, and then they get, that's where McElwain coached before he came to Florida.
Right.
He did really well there, but then they kind of went down for a while. But
It's never been consistent. Like, they'll have one really good year, the next year they go back down.
right.
It's kind of like Florida right now.
Yeah. Oh, it's rare teams fire a coach after a win. There's some recent examples, including Jimbo Fisher at Texas A&M November 12th, 2023, after they beat Mississippi State 51-10. On the same day, Andy Alvis was let go from Boise State after a 42-14 win over New Mexico. On November 18th, 2024, Temple relieved Stan Drayton one after the Owls beat FAU 18-15. And former Miami coach Larry Coker was let go after 17-14, whatever, number 18, Boston College. That's despite going 59-15 during his time. That's a little egregious there, maybe. Almost like the James Franklin thing, but at least he lost his last game at Penn State,
Yeah.
Northwestern. But, as you say, the hot seat continues for several coaches, including Auburn, Hugh Freeze. Man, Auburn just can't. They were beating Missouri in the fourth quarter, and I even said on a text to people, I'm like, Missouri's going to win this game. Auburn's going to lose this. And sure enough, they did. I don't know how that seems to happen, but Boston College, they're struggling. Florida State, FSU made the announcement today that they're not going to make a decision on Mike Norvell until after the season. We'll see if that's true. Kentucky, another game where they just dominated Texas but couldn't score. Texas offense is really rough, but Texas wins in OT. North Carolina, I don't know if there's a hot seat for Belichick yet, but
well, the way people are talking, there is.
They lost a close one at Cal. They went all the way out there and nearly won that game. And then Wisconsin, on the other hand, I don't know how Luke Fickell still has his job. They're getting shut out every week. And that was Ohio State went in there on Saturday in the CBS game on Saturday, just 34-0. It wasn't even close. So I have a feeling Wisconsin probably will be making a change there soon. So as far as let's get into the Florida coaching scenario a little bit too. And I think, obviously a lot of this is just, right now nobody really knows outside of Scott Strickland who he's going to be interviewing at this point. And he had a press conference today, and he made a comment that, and we talked about this with Kevin Brockley a few weeks ago. Billy Napier was told during the offseason to hire an offensive coordinator, a guy to call plays, and he didn't. And Strickland kind of ignored it and didn't do anything about it. So I think if Billy Napier had hired an offensive coordinator, who knows, a play caller, he might still be coaching at Florida. Not necessarily true, sure, but he really decided that was the part that he wasn't going to give up, was the play calling, and it kind of cost him.
Yeah, I saw a story today. I think his name is Mike Farrell. 247.
Yeah.
Used to be with Rivals. Every coach that gets fired, he follows up with a story that says, guys that could hit the portal. So I saw the story today, and it was like, Gators could hit the portal. And it was like the Wilson kid that plays receiver, Trey Wilson.
Trey Wilson, yeah.
Burnout Brown the third. Basically, people that start, he was saying likely to hit the portal. DJ was not one of them.
I don't think he's going anywhere. I don't know.
Well, he tweeted out today to make people think that he was going to be at Florida next year.
Yeah, and he talked to the media today. Actually, it was Lagway, like I said, Trey Wilson, and Miles Graham.
Yeah, Miles Graham.
Miles Graham's not going to leave. His dad's a legacy. Ernest Graham, he's not leaving Florida. So, some of those guys make sense. So, who do you think, and we'll probably talk about this most weeks, but if you look at this now, everybody says Lane Kiffin. Is it going to be Lane Kiffin?
Well, we don't know. There's still 5 weeks left in the season. Ole Miss
that's the issue.
Ole Miss just got their first loss.
Yeah, I think they're going to be in the playoff. Yeah.
What if he, like typical Ole Miss chokes? They go 7-5. Then all of a sudden he's no longer the guy.
Well, I don't know if that's going to make him not the guy. I don't know. That's an interesting point. I don't expect they're going to lose 5 in a row. And you never know. They got to play LSU. They got to play. They got Oklahoma this week. Yeah, it's possible.
If they go 8-4, 9-3 probably doesn't get you in, but it may. Yeah. But if they don't make the playoffs this year, I don't think he becomes the guy anymore. He just becomes another guy.
He can still coach offense. That wasn't the issue on Saturday against Georgia either. Their defense couldn't stop Georgia at all in the second half, and then suddenly their offense went cold in the fourth quarter. But that was the game of the week, though, I thought. But after rushing for a school record 381 yards on Nichols College last year, Curry College tailback Monty Quinn, like that name, broke his own record, an NCAA All Divisions record of 522 yards on 20 carries. Ouch. That is 20.
Oh, keep reading. Keep reading.
In my head, 25 yards a carry, I think. 5 of his touchdowns went for over 50 yards, including 58, 64, 78, 84, and 85 yards. Oh, my goodness. That's crazy. Quinn broke former Oklahoma back Samaje Perrine's record of 427 yards, just the third D1 back behind Melvin Gordon and LaDainian Tomlinson, both who played for the Chargers, to go over 400 yards. Wow.
Yeah, that one. I saw that on social media over the weekend. I'm like, oh, good nugget. Never heard of this guy.
Is that
Apparently-
D2? What is
D3.
D3 is Curry College. Okay. Yeah. Wow. So he set the all divisions record. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's the fact that his old record was 381 and he rushed for 522. That's crazy. You're seeing some really nutty rushing numbers now.
Yeah.
So I think it's like 25 yards a carry, 25, 26. So that's not bad. All right, let's take a look at the games last week. We start in the ACC. This was the big upset on Friday night. Louisville defeats number 2 Miami 24-21.
I called it.
Or he did call it. Carson Beck, 25 of 35, 271 yards, but he throws 4 interceptions, and including one where Miami's in field goal range to tie the game. Not sure what Mario Cristobal was doing here. He pulled a Billy Napier and decided to throw the ball down there, and Carson throws his 4th interception. So Louisville now actually goes to 5-1 and 2-1, and they're tied with Miami, actually ahead of them in the ACC, with Miami now 5-1 and 1-1. So that opens up the ACC race a little bit as well. Also on Friday night, North Carolina goes out west, and they're close. I can't quite get a win there. 21-18 for Cal. Cal's now 5-2 and 2-1. They're one win away from being bowl eligible. And North Carolina now 2-4 0-2, and they continue to struggle with Coach Belichick. Actually, are they 0-2? I think that's right. No, that's right. Sorry.
Yeah.
Georgia Tech, this is a big win there. They go to Duke and win 27-18. They were down 10-7 late in the third. 12th ranked Yellow Jackets now 7-0, 4-0, rally back to Sun Duke, who's 4-3 and 3-1. Both teams were unbeaten in the ACC coming in. Haynes King, 14-31 passing, 205 yards, rushed for 120 yards on 14 carries, and the school record 95-yard fumble return from Omar Daniels. The last time the Jackets were 7-0 was 1966, the year before my dad got to school there. Bobby Dodd was still coaching Georgia Tech.
I was surprised to read that because you automatically think about 1990.
They had the tie by then.
Yeah, they had a tie. They got North Carolina, I think.
Carolina, and I guess it must have been in the 5th or 6th game, before they got to 7. But so Georgia Tech gets that win there. They remain unbeaten, and looking at their schedule outside of Georgia, obviously that'll be the last game, Thanksgiving weekend. But I mean, they've got Syracuse, Pitt.
They don't play Virginia.
They don't play Virginia.
They don't play SMU.
No, they don't play SMU either. You're right.
This is what's crazy about this non-divisional. You can't say, oh, well, so-and-so has the road to win the championship because you don't know who they play. I mean, it used to be because when you were division, you knew every single person they played, but it's a free-for-all right now in the ACC. 5 or 6 teams can easily win the ACC. Right?
Yeah, it's interesting. You think Miami would be dominating, but they're not.
And two of them are in the bottom right now with Clemson and FSU.
Yeah, they have Syracuse at home this week, at NC State, at Boston College. NC State could be a trap. BC is not very good.
NC State, my coach, by the way, is also on the hot seat right now.
Oh,
I saw that too.
Pittsburgh, no, that's their last home game. And Pittsburgh's not bad, but I mean, that's at Tech. And then Georgia Tech, which is going to be a heck of a game. I mean, this year, it was a heck of a game the last 2 years. Georgia Tech played them down to the wire, especially last year's game in Athens. But that'll be something we can talk about later on. Also, UConn defeats Boston College 38-23. The Eagles now 1 game from being bowl eligible. The Huskies of UConn, 5-2. The Eagles are 1-6. They're struggling. SMU beats Clemson 35-24. They just don't lose in the ACC. They're still yet to lose an ACC game.
About 20 in a row they won conference games, I think.
Going back to the Mountain
American.
Excuse me. Thank you. That's right. SMU now 5-2, 3-0 in the ACC. They
Can
get
we have a funeral real quick?
Clemson
R.I.P. Clemson.
3-4, 2-3 in the ACC. And SMU gets revenge for that title game last year where they went back and forth all game. But yeah, I heard Dabo out talking today again, and he's trying to make excuses for not using NIL, the transfer portal. You know, that's what he does. But Clemson, yeah, not a good year for the Tigers, who started the year in the top 5, the rankings.
And all we heard was, "Oh, Clemson FSU, the winner is going to win the ACC." Now they're both garbage.
Are they playing each other?
Yeah, they play every year.
Okay. Well, I didn't know if the ACC was still doing that, but all right.
Yeah, you have permanent opponents. Miami FSU is a permanent opponent.
Well, yeah,
FSU Clemson's a permanent opponent.
okay.
FSU Georgia Tech is not.
No, nor does Miami Georgia Tech because they don't play this year either, even though they've been playing the last few years.
But that could change next year when they go to 9 conference games.
Right. Okay, Virginia. We just mentioned them. They come back with 12 fourth quarter points to stun Washington State 22-20. So the Cavs go to 6-1. Washington State 3-4. Pittsburgh. Syracuse having a rough year. Pittsburgh goes in and beats the Orange 30-13. Pittsburgh now 5-2, 3-1 in the ACC, and Syracuse falls to 3-4, 1-3. And this game was late on Saturday night. Stanford, and this is why I actually thought Mike Norvell may lose his job yesterday after this game.
I actually watched the end of this game. I was sleeping, but I woke up just enough time to watch the end of this game.
Yeah, so what happened? I didn't see this game either.
So with 2 minutes left, Thomas Castellanos throws a pass. He gets hit, targeting call. He has to go out of the game because he was injured. They bring in a freshman backup, Kevin Sperry, who threw a Hail Mary, caught with 2 seconds left.
Wow, I didn't realize this.
They caught with 2 seconds left. They hurry up to the line.
It wasn't a Hail Mary in the end zone, clearly.
No. They caught it like at the 10 or something.
Okay.
They hurry up to the line. The ball snapped over the new quarterback's head. He goes and picks up the ball, throws the ball in the end zone, pass interference.
God. That's crazy. Stanford.
They put the ball at the 1 yard line. FSU, untimed down, went ball to 1. They run a shovel pass. And thank God Stanford nails the tailback at the goal line. They reviewed it for like forever, and FSU loses.
Yeah, it sounds like that Virginia ending. Yeah, it seems like anything could go wrong for FSU has gone wrong for them. But and that brings Stanford to 3-4, 2-2 in the ACC. Florida State is now 0-4 in the conference, 3-4 overall. That's why I was saying on Sunday, I almost expected to hear Mike Norvell was being fired because I didn't think he was going to make it if they lost that game.
Oh, there was a lot of FSU fans, especially some that we know, Steve Barry, Michael Langston, that were calling for the hook.
Yeah, that surprised me. And they're right to, I think, at this point. I mean, they've given this guy almost 6 years. Florida gave Billy Napier 3.5. But FSU. Remember when they beat Alabama back in week 1?
Oh yeah,
top 10 they were again.
You never heard the end of it.
I know. Jeez, they're back.
FSU is back.
Yeah, we said Miami was back, but I don't even know about that anymore after watching them lose to Louisville. But they're still Miami's a better team. But all right, on to the SEC. Good week of games, and by the way, this one I called this one, and I'm not usually one to pick Vanderbilt. This Vanderbilt team is good. I mean, and also Diego Pavia has just been unreal. Number 17 Vanderbilt over number 10 LSU, 31-24. Vanderbilt's first win over LSU since 1990, although they don't play a lot.
No, they don't.
Vanderbilt is 6-1, 2-1 in the SEC. LSU 5-2 and 2-2. Pavia 14 of 22, 160 yards, and 3 for a touchdown. Rushed for 86 yards and 17 carries and 2 more touchdowns as Vanderbilt. And then I think they stormed the field there in Nashville. No, they didn't. That was a tweet I saw. But the ultimate disrespect to Brian Kelly was not storming the field.
they did play Colin Baton Rouge.
Really? They did?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Nice.
I saw that video.
That's good stuff. Okay. All right, elsewhere in the SEC, and as you said, LSU this week gets Texas A&M coming in, so that's a big game for them as well. Oklahoma, they come back for that Texas loss. They go to South Carolina, win 26-7, 14th ranked Sooners, 6-1, 2-1, did 6 sacks. South Carolina, man, they really are struggling. That's a team that was expected to contend. They're now 3-4 and 1-4 in the SEC. They just can't score points.
No, with even with the healthy Lenore Sellers, that offense is just terrible right now.
Yeah, they're not very good. And I think we were expecting big things from South Carolina this season. This was a shootout, as it turned out. I tell you one thing: Arkansas, 2 games under Bobby Petrino, they're scoring points. They were giving up a lot of points too. As Texas A&M holds on to win 45-42 over Arkansas in Fayetteville. A&M 7-0 and 4-0. This is the defense we just saw to dominate Florida. They give up 42 to Arkansas, who's now 2-5 and 0-3. So I think the week before Tennessee beat them 41-38 or something.
Yeah.
So they've been scoring points. They're just giving up a lot of points. But Texas A&M hangs on, and now they go to LSU this week. Another big game for the Aggies. Georgia, they come back. Number 9, Georgia beats Ole Miss 43-35. The 5th-ranked Rebels, their first loss of the season. They're 6-1 and 3-1 in the SEC. Georgia now 6-1, 4-1 in the league. They get back-to-back offensive stops in the 4th quarter to stun the previously undefeated Rebels in the hedges, between the hedges in Athens. And this was this looked like a game that last team to get the ball was a win. And it wasn't until Georgia's defense decided to show up in the 4th quarter.
Ole Miss scored on their first 5 or 6 drives. Georgia couldn't stop Ole Miss. Ole Miss couldn't stop Georgia. It was back and forth track meet.
Right.
And then Georgia made some adjustments and forced 2 back-to-back punts, which completely changed the outcome of this game because Georgia got the ball back. Georgia went down and scored. Ole Miss 3-and-out punt. And, I keep saying, this Georgia team is just not really good. They got lucky. They got lucky against Tennessee.
I was picking Ole Miss too. I did.
They got lucky against Ole Miss, but they keep finding ways to win.
Of course, I picked them to beat Alabama. They didn't. Picked Ole Miss to beat them. They beat Ole Miss. But yeah, that always seems like a kind of game that Ole Miss isn't going to win. I don't know what it is, but even with Lane Kiffin. But I'm not going to say that in case that guy gets hired by the Gators. I don't want to, look at that either. But speaking of the Gators.
Hey, Marty, I got Cheech and Chong on the phone. They want to talk to you. You're smoking some good stuff right now.
Am I? Okay.
Because, I don't think Lane Kiffin's coming to Florida.
Really?
No.
I don't know. Why wouldn't he?
I mean, he does have ties to Florida, but I think he would have already came if he was coming.
I haven't really had an opportunity to hire him. I didn't think this. Unless they could have hired him. No, he was at Ole Miss. Just got Ole Miss or Napier ever came in. I don't know. We'll see. There are other options. You're right. Speaking of Florida, speaking of Cheech and Chong, the end of this game was smoking something. Florida 23, Mississippi State 21. Gators 3-4-2 to hang on to beat the Bulldogs, who are now 4-3 and 0-3. Stunning rally win for homecoming. Jaden Ball 150 yards and 1 touchdown, 23 carries. But the one carry he did not have was the one that was weird. At the end of the game, when it's 3rd and 1, and you're trying to run out the clock, they ran a keeper RPO with DJ Lagway, who lost 5 yards. He had to punt. And then Mississippi State was in field goal range. But who was the big man, the interception? I remember his name. Big man interception, though. Threw it right in his hands. It was a great catch. But Florida was kind of lucky to win that game. But they won.
Yeah, I was coming back from dinner, listening to the game on radio, and I was like, oh, great. Mississippi State just scored to cut it to, 2 points. And then Florida was probably going to go 3-and-out. And Mississippi State got the ball back, and they were driving, and I'm thinking, oh, crap. They're going to kick a field goal. We're going to score a touchdown. They're going to break our hearts again.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, yeah, it's time for him to go.
Yeah, and they would have, except for the fact that Jeff Lebby, Mississippi State coach, had a bigger brain fart than Billy Napier did and decided to throw the ball down there. We were talking about that earlier, too. Shane Matthews said on the Gator on WRUF in Gainesville today, he thinks that Chapin was just trying to kind of throw it away, like he was throwing not towards that area. He just threw it there, and the guy happened to be there. But that being said, Florida does go to 3-4. They have a bye week now. They have an interim coach in Billy Gonzalez. And that was another thing announced yesterday after Billy Napier was let go. Billy Gonzalez has been an assistant coach at Florida under Urban Meyer in his tenure, and then again under Dan Mullen, and now under Napier. He's been under 3 different coaches at Florida, and now he'll be the interim coach for the remainder of the season. But they'll play Georgia in 2 weeks. I'm a bye this week. Georgia also on bye this week before the game in Jacksonville. Last time they'll play in Jacksonville for a few years, so until 2028 after this year. Texas 16, Kentucky 13, that in overtime. Mark Stoops elected to go for it on 4th and goal from the 1. It was stopped in OT. The Longhorns get a walk-off field goal. They go to 5-2, 2-1 in the SEC. Kentucky now 2-4, 0-4. As Kentucky, again, they went for the touchdown, didn't get it. All Texas had to do was kick the field goal. They did. Listen.
First play of overtime, they do a little swing pass to the tailback, and he breaks one, and he nearly scored.
Yeah.
Before being pushed down at the 1 or out of bounds at 1. You had 1st and goal from the 1-yard line, 4 consecutive plays, and you couldn't score. That front 4 for Texas. I mean, I like the call because what do you have to lose while losing, other than your job? Because he was playing for the win. He wasn't playing for the tie.
Yeah. Yeah, he was. So, and that's why Mark Stoops is probably going to lose his job too. I don't know, but nothing seems to be going Kentucky's way either. They're kind of like, kind of like Florida has been this year. Well, big game Saturday night in Tuscaloosa. Alabama beats Tennessee again, 37-20. Kalen DeBoer gets his first win over rival Tennessee. They didn't beat him last year, actually. Tennessee beat Alabama in Knoxville a year ago. The Tide have won 6 in a row since that FSU loss. They're looking good now, 6-1, 4-0 in the SEC. Tennessee falls to 5-2, 2-2. You know, I was hearing about this, the cigar smoke. I didn't realize they did that. Is that something they do?
Oh, yeah. They've been doing that for decades. If you look at the fans, they were all smoking cigars. The players.
You can't smoke in the stadium.
Yeah, they were.
Maybe in Alabama you can.
Ty Simpson was interviewed by ABC. The minute he's done,
start smoking a cigar.
It wasn't Holly Rowe, but whatever the sideline reporter was, handed him a cigar. They lit it, and he started smoking it. In the locker room, they go in the locker room, they start smoking a cigar. That's the tradition of that rivalry.
Huh. For the Tennessee game.
Tennessee did it last year.
Okay.
And it comes down to Paul Bear Bryant. Paul Bear Bryant, after a win over Tennessee, smoked a cigar, and it became a big thing.
Paul Bear Bryant smoked cigarettes like he was a chimney, though. But I mean, yeah, that's true. He was a big smoker. I didn't realize the Tennessee game had that. And
it's the only game they do that.
Well, it's the only they always call that the third Saturday in October game, right?
Right.
Always, because it's not like the battle for the beer barrel or the bourbon barrel, all that, right? Yeah, but so Alabama gets the win over Tennessee. Alabama again undefeated in the SEC. In fact, they, along with Texas A&M, are the only unbeaten teams left in the conference. A&M's the only unbeaten team left overall. And Missouri, 23, Auburn 17. Bo Pribula runs for a 3-yard score in overtime. Missouri defense stops Auburn on their possession, and Missouri comes away with a win. Number 16 Tigers are 6-1 and 2-1. They win in double overtime at Jordan-Hare over Auburn, who's now 3-4 and 0-4 in the SEC. Auburn is down at the bottom of the conference again.
Yeah, I picked Auburn to win that game, and I watched the end of that game too. And Auburn, forced overtime. They had the momentum, and they looked like they were going to score on their second overtime, and Missouri stopped them. No, I'm sorry. Missouri scored, and then Auburn had the ball, and Missouri made the play on defense. But, yeah, Auburn's snake bitten.
Yeah, they really are. And it seems like that's been the case for, I don't know, the last couple of years, especially under Hugh Freeze, since he took over as coach. All right, that's our look at the SEC. Let's take a look at the Big 12 now. Houston over Arizona, 31-28, 40-yard field goal by Ethan Sanchez, 41-yard field goal. Gets Houston the win at the buzzer over Arizona. TCU 42-36 over Baylor. TCU now 5-2, 2-2 in the Big 12. Baylor 4-3 and 2-2. UCF blows out West Virginia 45-13. UCF's first win in the Big 12. They're 4-3 and 1-3. West Virginia now 2-5 and 0-4, struggling this year. Arizona State gets a last-minute touchdown. Sam Levitt came back for them, and they knock off the 7th-ranked Texas Tech Red Raiders for unbeaten 26-22. Arizona State now 3-1 in the Big 12, 5-2 overall. Texas Tech 6-1, 3-1. BYU gives Utah its first loss of the season, and BYU I think is the only unbeaten team left now in the Big 12. As the 15th-ranked Cougars go to 7-0 and 4-0. Utah 5-2 and 2 to the Holy War. Love that name. BYU 24-21. And Cincinnati, no problem in Oklahoma State, 49-17 for the 24th-ranked Bearcats here, 6-1 and 4 with Oklahoma State at the bottom of the Big 12, along with West Virginia at 1-6 and 0-4. In the Big 10, it was actually the other way around. Minnesota upsets Nebraska 24-6. As the Golden Gophers go to 5-2, 3-1.
Yeah, I got the score.
Nebraska falls to 5-2 and 2-2.
Go ahead.
Darius Taylor, 148 yards and a touchdown. Drake Lindsey, 16-20. So Minnesota goes to 3-1 in the Big 10, 5-2 overall. Nebraska 5-2 and 2-2. Michigan over Washington 24-7. They were tied at 7-all. Michigan outscored Washington 17-0 in the second half. The Wolverines now 5-2 and 3-1 in the Big 10. Washington 5-2 and 2-2. Northwestern shuts out Purdue 19-0. Northwestern 5-2 and 3-1 in the conference. Purdue 2-5 and 0-4. Ohio State 34-0 at Wisconsin. The top-ranked Buckeyes, who are now 7-0 and 4-0 in the Big 10, jump out to a 17-0 first quarter lead on the Badgers. Wisconsin now 0-5, 2-5, 0-4. Justin Sand was 36 of 42 for 393 yards and 4 touchdowns. Dang, I didn't realize that. Indiana over Michigan State 38-13. As Fernando Mendoza goes 24-28, 332 yards and 4 touchdowns. Number 3 Hoosiers go to 7-0 and 4-0, and Michigan State falls to 3-4 and 0-4. The 8th-ranked Oregon Ducks, no problem with Rutgers 56-10. Oregon goes to 6-1, 3-1, coming back from the Indiana loss. Rutgers 3-4, 0-4. Penn State's season continues. They lose again by a point. This time to Iowa, 25-24. Iowa goes to 5-2, 3-1 in the Big 10. Penn State is 3-4 and 0-4 at the bottom of the Big 10. Winless teams in the Big 10 right now include Purdue, Michigan State, Rutgers, and Penn State. We would have guessed that one when the season began. UCLA, they come back and win their 3rd game in a row, 20-17 in Maryland. They're now 3-4, 3-1 in the Big 10 after firing Deshaun Foster. They won 3 games in a row. Maryland falls to 4-3 and 1-3. 3 late scoring drives winning for UCLA. And what could be the final game in this storied series, 13th ranked Notre Dame, 34, number 20 USC, 24. Notre Dame goes to 5-2, USC 5-2. 5th straight win for Notre Dame this season after starting 0-2. As we said, USC goes to 5-2. Other scores of note, we mentioned earlier that UAB, under interim coach Alex Mortensen, was knocked off the previous undefeated Memphis 31-24. They were 23.5-point underdog. UAB now 3-4, 1-3 in the conference. The goal line stands for the 1-yard line. It helped for Memphis 2 false starts in the delay of game to beat the Tigers. And the battle for the bones, the Whip Slab Trophy. I'll have to ask Corey about that. I'm not sure where he is, but USF, no problem with FAU, 48-13. The Bulls ranked 19th, 6-1 and 3-0. No problem in this game at home to remain in contention for a possible at-large selection in the college football playoff. And Boise State gives UNLV their first loss of the season, 56-31. The Broncos now 5-2, 3-0. And the Mountain West and UNLV first loss of the year, 6-1, 2-1 in the conference, and the Mountain West showdown on the blue turf. All right, games coming up this week. Actually, tomorrow night, as we are here. And by the way, again, let's say it's a special Monday edition tonight of the show. We'll be back for Wednesday next week from 9 to 10 for a college football report. This week, game coming up Wednesday. So we are here tonight for before Brady's at the start. Right on US 301. Across from Bradford High School. And, of course, you can have these specials every night, including Burger Monday tonight. We got Monday Night Football. We got Game 7 of the ALCS going on between Seattle and Toronto. 2 Monday night games tonight, in fact. 7 and 10. You got the Bucks and the Lions on right now, and then the Texans and Seahawks. So a lot going on tonight. We'll be back next week on Wednesday after that. By the way, before I move on to this week's schedule, I had no idea Memphis and UAB played for the Rib Slab Trophy.
Yeah, you got Birmingham and Memphis,
Yeah,
two barbecue
barbecue.
hotbeds,
Yeah, I didn't know they
and
played
they,
the
and they
Battle of
actually
the Bones.
showed it. It's really cool. It's a bronze slab of ribs.
Battle for the Bones, huh? I like that. The Rib Slab Trophy, exactly. So UAB gets it this year over Memphis. They really surprised Memphis, and that's going to put a little bit of I would say right now for Memphis college football playoff hopes. Although again, USF is
Well, no, if they beat USF this week, that puts them right back in it.
oh, Memphis is playing USF this week. Oh,
Yeah.
it's a huge game, right? Okay, yeah, we'll see how that goes. There was another name that's being mentioned from Florida, as Alex Schoolish there at USF. Not sure how that would. Yeah, I agree.
I'm tired of going after these people you never heard of.
That's kind of what I was thinking. I think
want
part
a
of that.
I want a big name coach.
I think if they hadn't beaten Florida in the swamp this year, then we may not be talking about it at all.
I mean, who was McElwain? Who was Billy Napier?
Well, McElwain, they all worked for Nick Saban, actually. McElwain was his offensive coordinator for Saban. Napier was offensive coordinator for Saban and for Dabo. So, yeah, that's how. And he won at Louisiana. McElwain won some at Colorado State, but yeah, that's true. Those weren't exactly the biggest names you could get.
No.
Nor was Ron Zook, really. But, I mean, well, that was more a familiarity thing. I think.
Well, he was a defense coordinator everywhere.
He had been here before,
Yeah.
too. But. All right, let's take a look at this week's schedule. Again, we got 2 games on Tuesday night this week, the normal Sun Belt games. Kennesaw State at FIU, that'll be at 7 o'clock on ESPN2. Western Kentucky at Louisiana Tech, 7:30 on CBS Sportsnet. These teams have buys, don't they? Or they play on Tuesday the week before? There's no way they're playing on Saturday.
No.
Tuesday. Yeah. Okay.
They're probably playing on Thursday or Friday of last week.
Wednesday, yeah, true.
Yeah.
Wednesday night, we got Middle Tennessee at Delaware. Delaware's playing again on Wednesday.
Remember, Delaware played last Wednesday.
Middle Tennessee did too.
Yeah.
7:30 on ESPN2. Missouri State, New Mexico State, 9 o'clock CBS Sportsnet. Only one game Thursday night. South Alabama at Georgia State, 7:30 on ESPN2. That'll be from Turner Field in Atlanta. Or it used to be called Turner Field. I don't know what they call it anymore, where Georgia State plays football. Friday night, 5 games this week. Columbia and Dartmouth, Ivy League game, 6 o'clock on ESPNU. North Texas and Charlotte on ESPN2 at 7. Cal Virginia Tech, 7:30 on ESPN. Boise State in Nevada at 10 o'clock on CBS Sports Network. And Montana at Sacramento State, 10:30 ESPN2. Really?
WNAA, they're really good.
That's ESPN2 doesn't normally have those games during the season. That's an interesting matchup there. All right, so let's look at Saturday's schedule. Ole Miss has got another tough one. They got to Georgia. Now they got to go to Oklahoma this Saturday. That'll be in the noon ABC game, early start, 11 a.m. in Norman this week. Syracuse at Georgia Tech. That'll be at noon.
I forgot.
Virginia, North Carolina is on ACC Network at noon. SMU at Wake Forest and on CW. I don't know.
Probably ESPN, if I had to guess.
Yeah. Again, Georgia Tech playing at noon every week.
Yeah.
Seems like it. But Kansas State at Kansas. And FYI, I was not feeling well this weekend, and I did not get up for the Jaguars game Sunday even, which is good. Probably for the best.
I was going to text you. Don't bother getting up.
Yeah, I didn't. Saturday, I barely made it up for the Georgia Tech game. I wasn't feeling very good at all on Saturday. But all right, so SMU and Wake Forest play at noon on CW. Virginia, North Carolina, noon ACC Network. Kansas State and Kansas, that's the TNT game at noon. I can't remember what they call that game, the Kansas State-Kansas game. It's
Sunflower State.
Sunflower State.
Yeah.
There you go, South Florida, Memphis. That'll be a big game to watch, noon on ESPN2 on Saturday. Auburn, Arkansas, 12:45 SEC Network. Somebody's got to win a conference game between Auburn and Arkansas. Ooh, big one at 3:30 on ESPN. Missouri at Vanderbilt. That becomes a really big game now.
That's where game day is.
Oh, they're at Vandy?
I think so.
That might be the first time.
No, they've been there before, but
Yeah,
it's been a while.
Alabama and South Carolina at 3:30 on ABC. I heard Coach Spurrier talking about it's 15 years since, remember, Stephen Garcia and that team beat number 1 Alabama. So they're having a reunion this weekend for that game up there in South Carolina. And that'll be the 3:30 ABC game. South Carolina needs a win. Again, real bad. NC State at Pittsburgh at 3:30 on ACC. BYU at Iowa State, 3:30 on Fox. Illinois at Washington, 3:30 on the Big Ten Network. Texas to Mississippi State, that'll be the 4:15 game on SEC Network. Is Texas always on the road? Man, they haven't had a home game yet this year.
Well, they said they were doing that on purpose because when they played Kentucky, they said something was going on. It wasn't the state fair, but something else was going on. Oh, the auto race. They had an auto race in Austin this past weekend.
Oh, so they went to
So that's
Kentucky?
why it forced them on the road.
Oh, okay. Interesting. All right.
Grand Prix, I think, whatever. Formula One.
Austin. Okay.
Yeah.
This is going to get ugly. 7 o'clock on ESPN Saturday night. Miami, hosting Stanford. Texas A&M at LSU, 7:30 on the ABC Saturday night game. Boston College at Louisville, 7:30 ACC Network. Michigan at Michigan State, 7:30. Only a big rivalry. Michigan State's really down this year. 5 on the SEC Network. Kentucky needs a win. Houston and Arizona, 2. And North Dakota State and South Dakota State. All right. Those are the two best teams in FCS. Those two teams play. Yeah. They played for the national title a bunch of times.
I couldn't find a 10:30 game. Let's see if they updated it.
This is a lighter schedule than this week.
The last game was Colorado at Utah, 10:15, ESPN.
Oh.
So that's the only late game.
Looks like you've got 2 other Tuesday games here. Or is that next
week?
week?
No, that's because we're on Monday.
James Madison.
We don't come back on until Wednesday.
Oh, James Madison, right, at Texas State next week. Next Tuesday, 8 o'clock on ESPN2. UTEP at Kennesaw State, 8 o'clock ESPNU. Okay, that's next Tuesday.
Yeah.
All right, time for the picks. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. There's 20 games there. All right, Corey, results.
All right, so it came down to a couple of games at the end last week. In fact, I can tell you, we both lost Utah and Texas Tech. The FSU game, well, we both had FSU.
You picked Utah? Oh, okay.
Yeah, we both did. I'm trying to find a game that we. Oh, Michigan went Washington. You won. You had Michigan.
Yeah. You had Washington?
Yeah.
Okay.
But you ended up going 16-6. I went 14-8, which means now you lead 87-49 to 84-52. So you got a 3-game lead now.
Did you pick Ole Miss or Georgia?
I picked Ole Miss, just like you
did. Okay. That surprised me a little bit, but I guess, yeah.
I picked Mississippi State. I picked Auburn.
Oh, you picked Mississippi State.
I picked LSU.
I got Vanderbilt, yeah. I didn't know you had Auburn. Forgot about that.
We both picked Ole Miss.
Yeah.
I picked Louisville. You picked Miami.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
We both had FSU. Yeah, you had Michigan. I had Washington. I did pick Minnesota. You picked Nebraska.
Oh, right. Okay. Forgot about that one, too.
But you won all the games after that, pretty much, except for Utah and Texas Tech, which we both lost. So.
Yeah, Texas Tech, that was a close one. So was Utah. Missouri. You almost had Missouri-Auburn. It was really close if Auburn could have hung on there.
Yeah, I was rooting so hard for Auburn.
All right, so let's take a look at this week's picks. We'll start with California at Virginia Tech. I'm going to let Corey go first in this one.
You know, Virginia Tech's been so Jekyll and Hyde.
I know.
They fired the coach, got an interim coach, and even he's been up and down. I'm going with Cal.
You know what? I agree. I know I don't normally like this whole West Coast goes East Coast, East Coast goes West Coast, although I guess I didn't know that.
Cal's pretty good too, by the way.
That's the thing, though. They're 5-2. It's not like they're a bad team. I mean, they're coming off a win over North Carolina. Not that North Carolina is very good, but still, Cal beat Duke. Or no, Duke beat Cal out there. But anyway, it's hard to figure out Virginia Tech. I would take Cal. Even though that game's in Blacksburg, I'll take Cal. Ole Miss at Oklahoma.
I'm going Ole Miss. I don't trust Oklahoma. I don't think Oklahoma can keep up.
So fast, my friend. You're right. I agree. I agree with you. No, I don't think they can either. And I don't believe Mateer is starting to get back to normal. But you're right. I don't think they can outscore Ole Miss, honestly. And I think Ole Miss will score points here, even though Oklahoma does have a pretty good defense. But, yeah, even though it's in Norman, I like Ole Miss as well. All right. Syracuse at Georgia Tech. How long do we have to think on this one?
Tech.
Show the we got the sweatshirt on again. Yeah,
Georgia
Tech
Tech.
GT. Little. This is
Uh,
the game.
Funny story. So I go to the high school game Friday night. They're like, Corey, you are so confused. I said, what do you mean? You got Georgia Tech sweatshirt, a Yankee hat. I go, oh, it gets worse. I'm a Cowboy fan. Oh, no. And I'm a Atlanta Hawks fan
Hawks, really?
because of Dominique and Spud Webb.
Oh, okay. Dominique went to Georgia, by the way. So, you know,
Yeah.
didn't mean to throw that on you, but that's interesting. Syracuse and Georgia Tech, believe it or not. Georgia Tech, of course, I've told you my dad played football at Georgia Tech. My grandfather played football at Syracuse in the
Huh.
40s. So this is basically the my dad against my grandfather here. But Georgia Tech's going to win this game. Yeah, I'm not going against the Jackets.
All right.
Virginia, North Carolina.
No brainer for me. I'm going to Virginia.
Virginia's pretty good. I mean, we're learning that about them. They struggled some with Washington State, but they're a good team. And North Carolina is not a good team. Even though it's in Chapel Hill, I'll take Virginia. They're a mess right now. SMU at Wake Forest.
I've been saying it since the preseason. The SMU is really good. I like Wake Forest too, though, but they don't have the weapons like SMU does.
Yeah, I made a mistake and picked Clemson to beat SMU last week. I keep picking Clemson, and it's not, it doesn't do me any good. So, I like SMU this week. I'm going to take SMU to win at Wake Forest this week. Kansas State at Kansas, the Sunflower Bowl.
Jaden Daniels is the difference. I'm going Kansas.
Jaden Daniels plays for the Commanders.
Jalen Daniels is a quarterback of Kansas.
Jalen Daniels. Right.
He's been there about 7 years.
Oh, you said Jaden Daniels. I'm like, that's the guy with the Washington.
Jalen.
Yeah. All right, you got Kansas. I agree. I think Kansas is at home. Kansas State's been way up and down this year. And I think Kansas wins this game in Lawrence as well. We don't have any differences yet, do we?
Not yet, but it's coming.
South Florida at Memphis.
Memphis is going to win this game because they need to win this game, and they're playing at home. And it's ride or die for Memphis this week.
Okay. Not so fast, my friend. I'm taking the Bulls because you know what? They beat the Gators in Gainesville, and Memphis is having a good year, but I don't trust them after losing the UAB. I know it's in Memphis at the Liberty Bowl, but I like the Bulls. Give me the Bulls.
Okay.
Ooh, Auburn at Arkansas.
Bake a bit.
Got Arkansas. I agree. I don't want to take Auburn anymore. I can't trust them. And Arkansas seems to be getting better. And they're actually pretty tough at home normally. I'll take the bacon bits as well. I like the Arkansas Razorbacks. BYU at Iowa State.
I wanted to pick Iowa State in this game, but they lost to somebody the other day.
Oh,
that they shouldn't have.
They lost to
was it Kansas State, wasn't it? Was that a Kansas State game?
Yeah.
BYU's undefeated. I've seen them play a couple of times on the late games. They just they're like Georgia. They just keep finding a way to win the games. They're okay. I didn't think they're that impressive, but I'm going BYU until they lose.
I can't find who Iowa State lost to now, but yeah, they did lose. I think it was Kansas State. You're right.
No, it was Kansas State because that was the first game of the year.
Oh, no. They lost 2 in a row, though. They lost to Cincinnati, and then somebody beat them last week. But you take BYU?
Yeah.
Well, BYU had to get by Arizona in overtime on the road. They held on against Utah. The game's at Ames. So, but I actually agree with you. I'm going to take BYU as well. Thinking about it, but I like BYU.
They just find a way to win. I mean,
they do. I agree.
They're not like flashy.
Yeah.
They're not afraid to win a 10-3 kind of game.
No. Illinois is at Washington in the Big Ten.
Give me the Fighting Illini.
Illini going west to Washington. Washington just got beat by Michigan. They've lost to Ohio State. But I think Illinois is a pretty good team, actually. I'm taking a lot of road teams this week, but I think you're right. I like Illinois as well.
All right.
Texas at Mississippi State.
Hopefully, we have a difference on this one.
It's possible.
I'm going with not them. Give me Mississippi State.
Well, we're not going with a difference then because I also like Mississippi State. Although, let me think about this one for a second. Texas, I'm just not impressed with them. They were very lucky to win last week at Kentucky, who's not very good. Mississippi State actually didn't look that bad. They've been close in most of their games. Yeah, I'm not going to have a difference here. Mississippi State. I like the Bulldogs. Now, maybe this game will. Missouri at Vanderbilt.
Ain't no way in hell I will hardly ever pick Missouri.
Really?
Vandy's on a roll. I am on the Diego train.
Are you?
Give me
Picked LSU last week.
Well, yeah. Give me Vandy.
Welcome to the Vandy train. I'm taking the Commodores again. Give me Vandy. Not going off that bus. And Missouri's not a bad team. You wouldn't pick Missouri? Hardly ever? Why is that?
Well,
Not an
because
SEC team?
I mean, they've been on at home. They went to
well.
Auburn. Finally won that game.
Close to Alabama. I mean, that was
Missouri's kind of like Georgia. You know, they just they do what they got to do.
Yeah, you're right. I like Vandy though at home. Alabama at South Carolina. Yeah. Go ahead.
Bama, of course.
Yeah. Bama's got it turned around. South Carolina's struggling. Even in Columbia, I like the side. Roll Tide. NC State at Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh
won at FSU. They won at Syracuse. NC State's been going downhill a little bit. This game is at the Heinz or whatever they call it now, the Steelers Stadium. I like Pittsburgh as well. Why is this game on here? Stanford at Miami.
Because it's an ACC game, and I do every ACC game.
Oh, that's right.
And every SEC game.
Well, we shouldn't take very long with this one then.
Miami, of course.
Yeah, Miami's going to rebound and get a win after the Louisville debacle. Texas A&M at LSU. Here we go.
LSU.
Staying on that LSU bandwagon, huh?
They're playing at home. It's a nighttime game. This is a big rivalry game, too.
It is. A&M's a good team, though.
This used to be the last game of the year. Remember that?
6-7 overtime game?
Yeah,
that was on Thanksgiving night, I think, or something.
Yeah.
Or the Saturday after Thanksgiving. Yeah, you're right. Well, I don't know. I think A&M's a really good team. Yeah.
I think A&M then.
It's in Death Valley. You're right. It's in Death Valley. But no, I'm going to go with A&M. I'm taking Texas A&M. I'm going to roll with that.
All right.
We'll have some differences now. Texas A&M. Tennessee at Kentucky.
Back in my day, this was the bourbon barrel.
The bourbon barrel, yes.
I would have picked Kentucky, but no, I'm going Tennessee.
You would have picked Kentucky?
Back in the day, yeah.
The bourbon barrel. That's
Tennessee.
Right. Yeah, Tennessee. That's right. The battle of the. Oh, you know what? Indiana, Kentucky is for the bourbon barrel. Kentucky, Tennessee was the battle for the barrel, a beer barrel. That's what it was. That's what I thought. And they got rid of that because there was an accident involving it. Yeah. But, I'm not picking Kentucky. I'm taking Tennessee here this year. Kentucky's just too up and down.
Battle Michigan.
This is our last game.
No, 3 more.
Oh, sorry. There's 3 more. Michigan at Michigan State. Don't like the way Michigan. Oh, go ahead. You're first. What am I doing?
Michigan.
Okay.
I don't trust the Spartans.
Michigan State's struggling. I like Michigan, even though it's in East Lansing. I'll take the Wolverines. Houston and Arizona State.
You know you want to pick the Fighting Jeff Sims.
Well, now that Sam Levitt's back, I do.
They're playing at home.
Yeah.
But I'm going Houston.
And you're absolutely right. I want to pick the Fighting Jeff Sims because, again, he's not the quarterback anymore. He struggled in that game at Utah, but they beat Texas Tech at home, so I'm going to take him. I got Arizona State winning this game. I like Arizona State. Maybe that's a guy that Florida should look at too, but he's Kenny Dillingham, but he's an Arizona State guy, so I don't know. Finally, This is
the game that game
This
day
game
should have
on-
been at.
yeah, you're right. North
This
Dakota
is-
State at South Dakota State. I have zero idea who to
This
pick.
was the two best teams in 1AA.
Yeah, I know. And they're right next. They're in North Dakota, South Dakota. I mean, that's what's funny.
I think this is the mile marker game. I think is what they call this rivalry because they're bordering states. North Dakota State used to be the premier 1AA team. They still are good.
Yeah.
But South Dakota State is running things right now. Give me South Dakota State.
South Dakota State's been winning lately, right? I'm trying to remember. North Dakota State was winning. Okay.
They won like 7, 8 in a row.
Are they the Sioux? No, that's South Dakota.
Yeah. No, the Bison. The Bison.
No, the Jackrabbits, South Dakota State.
Jackrabbits and the Bison. That's it.
Right. I like those names too. You know what? How many times can I say I picked South Dakota State. So I'll take South Dakota State as well. All right.
I was hoping you would go North Dakota State. Okay. Well, we have three different. That's fine.
Yeah.
All right. That's fine.
Okay. Anyway, that's it for another week.
We're only separated by 3 games anyway, so.
Yeah, long way to go. Long way to go. We still got another 6 weeks in this season or more even. And we'll be back next week to our regular time for the college football gridiron report 9 to 10 here for B4 Brady's and Stark. I want to again thank B4 Brady's for letting us use this back room here. Big game on Friday night here across the street for the district title. Bradford and Santa Fe will play over here at David Hurst Stadium across the street at Bradford High School here. And right here at B4 Brady's on US 301 in Stark. Again, Mondays are Burger Mondays, and they have specials every day of the week, including the 3 for specials as well, starting at $10.99. All right, we'll be back again next Wednesday with another edition of the College Football Report, North Florida College Football Report, here on North Florida Sports Talk. We will talk to you next week. For Corey Davis, I'm Marty Pallman. So long.
Yeah, we're at that time now where